Welcome guys, in this video we are going to talk about basic Lambda expressions. So, Lambda expressions are little bits of code that you can use to streamline your own coding. Let's take a look. So let's make a project here using system as always. I assume you can do the rest. And then namespace here, sample. And now class program of course, and then we're going to make a delegate like this. So declare a delegate. Okay, we learned about delegates before. They wrap function calls essentially. Assuming I can spell it. There you go, delegate integer. Name of it is multiply. Integer y and say integer x. And then close out a semicolon. Okay, so here's one delegate. Let's make another one. Delegate double and then add. And then int y and int x, close out a semicolon. Alright, so now let's make a static void main, and now within here what we're going to do is, let me delete this code. Okay, you're going to type, you're going to make a multiply, see this? Okay, it says delegate sample.program.multiply. Remember that sample.program.multiply is fully qualified name. There you go. So multiply here, and now you're going to say y by x. Okay, so multiply y by x, and you're going to set this equal to y comma x like this. That means two parameters, and then you're going to put out for an equals and an arrow, and then define the operation y times x like this, and close out the semicolon. Okay. So this y by x is a delegate, and it simply points to this operation here that accepts two parameters y and x, and then returns the product of those two. That's what this means, the syntax. Okay, let's call it. So console.writeLine, and then the product of 4 and 6 is, and of course you can put, those values obviously should be read in from the user, not fixed. But for our purposes this will do, comma, and then y by x, and then 4 comma 6, close out with a semicolon. Okay, so that looks like this. Let's do another one here. Now I'm going to do an add like this. Okay, so in other words, you can remember delegates are types. That's why you can type add, and that shows up as a type. Now you can say here y to x, and then you can say here y comma x, and then put in the symbol to indicate the expression, and then y plus x, close with a semicolon. So remember, this y to x is a delegate of type add, and it simply points to this expression here, which says feed in two values yx, and then return the sum of those two values. Alright, and now console.writeLine, and sum of 4 and 6 is a placeholder, period, comma, and y to x, and then 4 comma 6, close with a semicolon, and there's that call. Let's do console.read key at the end. There you go. Okay, that is that. Now let's give this a build. Remember, read key is the one that waits for user input. You hit a key and then it closes. That's working as expected. Let's go with debug and step into here, and that will be helpful. Give it a sec to kick in. There it goes. Alright, so as you can see, y by x and y to x are null both at first, and the types are sample.program.multiply, sample.program.add. There you go. So notice when I call y by x, take a look. You see what happens? The way it's defined is that you see this y and x are basically local variables passed into the body here, okay, where the product is formed, and it shows you with the tooltip it's 24. Okay, and that's called. Now you're going to define that one. So if you expand y by x like this, fix these, you see this? It tells you what it points to. Okay, it tells you it points you to a method. The return type is double, and it accepts integer 32 and an integer 32. Okay, the same as y by x, you see? Also a method. And y to x, also a method. There you go. And here, if you look at the types a little more carefully, you see this, sample.program.multiply, and the base is system.multicast_delegate. Okay, there you go. So a multicast delegate is of course a delegate that can take different numbers of methods and act on them. Alright, so here notice it calls y plus x, so now 4 and 6, these values here, this y and x, become local variables within this little bit of highlighted code. And of course that is returned then, and then you wait for input. Alright, then punch some key. The key is red of course, and then we close the application, and that's it. Okay. So here we have, if you go through this more quickly with start, give it a go. That's it, right? So then you can hit a key, the key is red and the program is closed, so read key is in action. And that's it. So what you have just learned is that, remember, delegates are types, that's why you can declare the objects of those types. In our case, this one here, y by x, happens to point to the operation of multiplying y and x, lambda expression. And same thing, y to x, that happens to point to the operation of adding y and x. As you see, when they are called, this bit of code was executed after y and x are passed into it, and then y plus x after y and x are passed into it as local variables, as we saw in the Windows, in the locals window. Okay, and that is it for this one. So thanks very much, and I'll see you in another video.